is the thing. So anyway, on these cables, I was half considering going red, especially like the cryptarch stuff or the canoptic stuff. Like I think, Ethan, you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like?
Volume's not really high.
Huh? Okay. But like for the cabling and stuff on these guys, I mean, especially like the Necron warriors where their guts are hanging out, like going red on a lot of those wires and stuff. Not to make it extra gross that it's just entrails. Like some of them being black, but maybe hitting some of these with contrast.
I mean, they're tubes. Maybe sometimes they have blue energy, sometimes they have green energy.
Here's this. I forgot about this. I'm just gonna cut this off. Boop. Right, but I mean like just the cables and the tubes, not like gun tubes.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know that these would be translucent, is what I'm saying. Like, I think, I don't know that they're, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. I'm thinking,
like they could be blue, they could be black.
Well, since I'm holding this guy, okay, so this is my old water. This is the new water, which isn't actually clean. So I do need to be careful. Contrast and shades. So the shades, the problem, one of the problems that I've had with a lot of these is that it's either based on the mix. Shake everything like super well, like as much as possible. The problem with the shades that I've had is that sometimes if you put it on thick, when it dries where it's pooled, like where it's not just a very thin layer, but where it's like a little divot. Sometimes I've had those end up with it like crystallizes in there, and it looks like salt dried out, or like like the bottom of some like ramen bowl or something when you're done with it. I don't know. Which is bad because that's not what you want. You don't want it to be bright. You want it to be dark in those, and then you have to like kind of go over it again. And I've had that be like, the mix is bad, so you've got more medium than tint or whatever, or just your water was dirty, and it does weird stuff. So with contrast stuff, there is the contrast medium. You should be using this instead of water when you're using contrast paints. Is my understanding. Use this to thin it, not water, because the chemistry is different. I don't think it's the. This has nothing to do with that pooling crystallizing thing. This is more about how it behaves on the surface when you're doing glazes. I think with water, it'll separate or something. I'm just making up words. I don't know specifically what I'm talking about, but I don't know. So I'm gonna, since I'm currently inspired to mess with these cables, I'm gonna grab a brush that's not super gross, and not super jacked up. This might be okay. I'm gonna wet it a little bit, and then I'm gonna get some medium. I normally get everything from the cap, but I'm gonna be using enough of this stuff that is that I'm gonna actually scoop some out. Let's go with let's go with the gray first. I'm gonna try and get some of the medium off of my brush so that it's not super whatever. I'm using this right now. So this is contrast basilicanum gray. I don't know what I'm doing right now, and I don't know what's going to happen. I could test this on any other model, but I'm gonna try it on this dude. Actually, these are just popped on here as sub-assemblies. I'm gonna take those off. So I'm gonna go over the cabling with this, and I'm gonna put it on real thick. I'm even gonna. I think I'm gonna do the neck too. I don't know if I want to hit everything in here, and I probably should have dry brushed it first, honestly. This is where be careful, because like I just got some off and it could smear to other parts, and I don't want that to happen. Just gonna do all of the corrugated cables, and like I said, I'm just doing this instead of Nuln Oil. Like, are you crazy? Why are you not using Nuln Oil? I don't know. So it's like, Craftsman, what are you thinking? So sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking. He does a good job of talking to himself. A lot of these areas I kind of want to have the, I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way up. And I'm going to go all the way up. Oh, it's just going to do all the things.
Pretty hefty.
Hold on. What?
The bikes.
Okay, I will look at Space Marine bikes in a moment. I'm in the middle of frantic contrast experiment number 6. This is too much. The blue energy stuff on these is that's the contrast ethermatic blue. That's what that is, in case anybody was curious. But I did dry brush over it first. I don't know, at some point with some of this stuff is like with contrast, I'm having to avoid kind of getting it on other things, and then I'm going to have to clean that up later. At some point it's just like, why didn't you just paint that instead of trying to do this thing that you're trying to do? And that's fair. Why didn't I just paint that? I think I'm going to go sepia on these things. I don't know. I can fix that later. I'm not gonna keep that. So I got all this gray out. Do I just have to use it all? Am I just committed to doing that, or do I waste it? I just put it on all the things and then put red over the ones that I wanna do. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? Does it even make sense? I'm gonna do the whole thing here. Now with the contrast, you do want to slop it on, I think. This vent in here, do I want that to be glowing blue or anything? This stuff would be in shadow. I don't know what I'm doing about in there. That neck is looking mighty fine though. I'm happy with that. Gotta get the back side over here though. This too. The other thing too is like this is a gray, not black. I think there is a black. But part of the black contrast thing was like, should I just use Nuln Oil? I don't know. I'm not sure what percentage of my process will become contrast versus shades. There's so much contrast in this puddle on my palette. Try not to hit any of the other stuff. But yeah, normally, so for me, it's like, here we go. Contrast this. Sort of base coat, sort of overbrush, dry brush, shade, wash, whatever. And then dry brush. Again, highlight. And then go back in with layers, clean up edges, then dry again, then clean up, then dry. I don't know what this is. That's some vent. That doesn't look like a brick. This looks like stone. Okay, am I almost done with this guy? I don't want to, although I kind of do, like do the entire interior here. It's happening. It's happening. This was gonna be the bronze, brass, or whatever. Or even just sepia. See, I could have left this part off too. I mean, this definitely would have, sub-assemblies would have helped this. I just hate dealing with it and I lose parts. Sub-assemblies. And plus, if there's something obscuring it, can you see it anyway, right? Like, yo, why? Why worry about it? Nice because I hate the fact that these paints are called contrast paints, because I wanted to say something about it helping with the contrast, and there are things that help with contrast that aren't contrast paint related. Wah. I think all these joints actually want to be sepia, but whatever. Oops, not that part, right? Not that part. Undo. I don't know, man. All right, at this point, I'm just looking at it, going, did I miss anything? Is there anything that's inconsistent? Yeah. I don't want to make more work for myself. I've about emptied my contrast pool. Yeah. So yeah. I still have more medium there. But I mean, like, I think, I don't know. It looks better than it did before, right? I don't know if I'm, and now if I put the red on, I'm gonna do that. I know I said I was almost done. I am going to wash my brush out a little bit because I don't want a lot of part when you're talking about my painting style. A lot of it is again not even just trying and not even cleaning the brush. I'm working up through colors, and then you're sort of mixing in the brush and on the model. So here a little Lamy medium. Now I've corrupted. Whatever, corrupted is fine. The medium itself. I'm just gonna do the bottom one. The problem with the contrast paints is that if you screw up, it's pretty hard to match. That is a nice dark, like, man, the red over that gray. Oof. That's a good oof. Is this Blood for the Blood God or something like that? What is this? This is Flesh Terror's Red. I missed. Oops. I missed this cable with the gray. Maybe I can go back over it with the gray after I do the red. See what happens there. That's pretty much too bloody. But like the deep red that this is getting off that gray is pretty nice. I don't like being careful, man. Careful's so boring. Just want to blanch it up. Should just splatter this on it. Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to denigrate. That's not what we were talking about earlier, though. That's not the word we were looking for.
Oh. That was today, huh?
Yeah. John Blanche doesn't just splatter stuff, is my point. The other thing too is there are times where I could actually be less careful, because all I need to do is just go over it again with the base coat. It's funny too, because contrast paints are like these super opposite of dry brushing. Like you want this to be thick and pool up and get into places. And then, I mean, I don't know, shades do pretty much the same thing. But I don't know, this is probably more subtlety than I think I need on this model with the red. I haven't figured out what I'm doing up here with the bone versus other stuff, but there, I got to play with that. I know what happened. The point of all that was I was working on this dude, and I was looking at like these tubes, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with those. So buttons.